It is time for the government of the United States to ban X, the social media site still largely known as Twitter. And yes, I get the irony. Scan that QR code to take you directly to the Friday edition of the Countdown podcast, because with his amplification of a post duplicating the hateful language of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter, with his doubling and tripling down on anti-Semitism and white supremacy, and with the likely Republican nominee for president echoing the hate speech of the Nazis and Hitler, Elon Musk is standing over a tinderbox of racial and religious hatred and intolerance, and the targeting of the quote other unquote that has never been fuller and never been drier in the history of this country.
I showed this to someone earlier today, and the person was not certain. The person thought this was parody. Keith Olbermann is Abe Simpson. I mean, he's literally Abe Simpson from the Simpsons, shaking his fist at the sky and yelling at clouds. He's literally, not literally, but metaphorically, the other one there. Dana Carvey. I'm an angry old man. Let's let this play out, and let's just hear the fascism that Keith Olbermann wants to usher into America under the guise of preserving democracy.
The peace and security of the United States of America is literally at stake.
Literally.
The president or Congress or the states, or all of them acting together, must ban Twitter X and sever all contracts and contacts with all of Elon Musk's other companies: SpaceX, Tesla, The Boring Company, Neuralink, and XAI. Elon Musk has gone down a path of hate and potential violence.
Potential
from which
violence.
He cannot backtrack.
From which he's done. He's done. Damn to hell.
Twitter X must. All that and more on the Friday Countdown podcast, now live wherever you podcast and also on YouTube. Hit the link or scan the QR code.
No, thank you, crazy man, Keith Olbermann. All right, before we get started, look, this was super short notice. I'm sitting here. My wife's had to go out with all of our kids, and it was either I do the messages or she does, and she says, "I'll do them. You stay here, and do what you got to do." So I cleaned the fish tank. I had to put in another green killing machine, and not on the fish tank that's outdoors, the big outdoor tank that actually has, it's amazing. It's doing better than the fish tank indoors. But I installed a green killing machine because we have algae bloom. I siphoned out one bucket full of poo-poo water, and then I was like, well, what the heck do I do? I wanted to go live today, but I went live instead on Hunley's channel with Nate Brody, Andrea Burkhart, Joe Neerman, Ian Runkle, and I'm forgetting MLS lawyer. I said, well, cripe, I've got stuff to talk about. I can't not talk about three things that have been irritating me all day. And I said, look, I've got an hour. Quiet time. Let's do this. Now, just making sure that we're live on Rumble. We're live on Rumble, and let's just make sure that we're live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com, which we are. Good. There I see myself. So I said we'll do we won't get these things routine because I don't know. There's so many people streaming at all given points in time. It's impossible not to cross streams with someone else. The inadvertent cross streams. But tonight we're going to have a martini with Viva. Because I've got an hour. I don't know if that was doing the ASMR thing. I've got an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes to cover some stories that have been plaguing me today and driving me nuts. If anybody's asking what the martini is, it's called Gin Slinger, which I think is a play on gunslinger. Handcrafted Ontario gin. My wife got this for me when she went to Canada recently, and it's delicious. It's 92 proof, which is 47%? 46%? That's crazy. Good evening, everybody. So it's another day. The news is blaring. There's a number of things we're going to talk about in greater detail Sunday, but I wanted to get them off my plate for this evening. We're going to go back to Keith Olbermann, the unhinged, demented psychopath. I mean, here's what I asked my wife this earlier today. I said, honey, Marion, who's at the door? Hold on one second. Who's coming into the door? I see. I said, Marion, if I ever end up looking like Keith Olbermann, I need you to tell me. And I need you to unplug the internet, smash my computer, and give me an intervention. Keith Olbermann, he's, I don't want to use words lightly. He's batshit crazy. The guy is out of his gourd. The guy's, he's a raging lunatic. He's so crazy that I seriously question whether or not he is not under some form of MK Ultra spell. I'll sound crazy for suggesting that. Occasionally, I'll lose my temper. Occasionally, I'll swear and I'll cuss and I'll go overboard. I've never gone overboard. Occasionally, I'll swear and I'll cuss, and I might look like a raging lunatic. But if it becomes the way that I am, I want someone to tell me, I want someone to stage an intervention, and I'll take a step back and I'll take a breath and I'll go fishing for the next 2 weeks. Keith Olbermann has been batshit crazy for a very, very long time. It looks like parody. And we're going to walk through this, and then we're going to go to the tweet. So what we're going to talk about today in this brief, I don't know who just came in and, oh gosh, no one's cutting this short. We're going to go through Keith Olbermann's ranting, raving, maniacal, lunatic tweet calling for outright fascism. Government doesn't like what you have to say. Government should sever all, what did he say? He said cut all contracts and contacts. We'll get there. Then we're going to get to what Elon Musk's wildly offensive anti-Semitic tweet was in the first place. Then we're going to talk about a commercial coming out of Canada that is so vile, so offensive, for a hospital for sick kids coming out of, I think it's out of Toronto. It's so outrageously offensive. We'll explain why. A brief update on the Trump gag order, because Trump, the gag order of Judge Engoron, hashtag bonus torso pic. Nipple McGee, whose wife is tweeting bad words at the Trump attorney. He's had his gag order lifted, temporarily. And then there was another update. Oh, yes, the California homeowner who pulled his concealed carry and fired upon armed intruders who were seeking apparently to enter his residence and rob him and do worse potentially. He's had his concealed carry, his CCW license revoked. Apparently because he yelled at the cops. We'll get there. You know what? Hold on. Before we even get there, let's just make sure everything's good on Locals and Rumble. Bonus whole face. We got Winnipeg's in the house. Okay, let's see. Olbermann was on MSNBC for years ago talking about Trump supporters, saying these people are scum. Imagine, says, well done, son. Okay, well, hold on one second. I don't want to turn into Viva ASMR with Martini. Okay, let's start with this, and let's just break down this unhinged tirade. And it's not his first. Remember the one when he was raging about the jab? Cause you're scared. You're scared of a little needle. Oh, hey Keith, I got a news flash for you. What they euthanize inmates with on death row, it's just a little needle. Oh, you're just scared of a little needle? Can you tell me what's in that needle? Because if it's cyanide, mercury, yeah, I'm going to be scared of that needle. I'm not suggesting that what's in the jab is cyanide or mercury. I'm just saying, just a little needle. Yeah. What do you think they stick into the arm of inmates when they put them to death? Just a little needle, Keith. You psychopath. And let me bring it back out. I know people are going to say, judge a person by the adjectives he habitually uses to talk about others. I will talk about people being geniuses when they're geniuses, insightful when they're insightful, charismatic when they're charismatic, and psychopathic when they're psychopathic. Psychopath Olbermann, what do you have to say for yourself today? Oh, let's hear this.
It is time for the government of the United States to ban X.
It sounds like 1950s War of the Worlds propaganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been invaded by aliens. That's right, you guessed it. They are going to suck your brains out through your nose. I saw it in a movie called Starship Troopers. I believe it was a documentary about aliens. They will suck out your brains and they will turn you into living vassals for their own energy. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the Matrix. This sounds like a deluded psychopath ranting and raving about the end of the world, because it is.
Social media site still largely known as Twitter. And yes, I get the irony.
Because he's on Twitter telling people that they need to shut down Twitter.
Scan that QR code to take you directly to the Friday edition of the Countdown podcast, because with his amplification of a post duplicating the hateful language of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter, with his doubling and tripling down on anti-Semitism and white supremacy, and with the likely Republican nominee for president echoing the hate speech of the Nazis and Hitler.
I'm sorry. The likely nominee echoing the hate speech of the Nazis and Hitler. It's funny. When we look out on the streets right now and we hear people chanting and protesting, Which side is that again? BLM celebrating the paraglider entering into Israel to massacre people. I'm sorry, which side again? Oh, I'm sorry. Keith Olbermann. You think it's the MAGA Trump? Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Elon Musk is standing over a tinderbox of racial and religious hatred and intolerance and the targeting of the quote other unquote that has never been fuller and never been drier in the history of this country.
I really actually don't know what he's talking about right now. He's standing over a tinderbox and it's never been drier or whatever. All right, go on, Keith. We want to hear what you have to say.
The peace and security of the United States of America is literally at stake.
Why? Because Biden has left the border open for the last 3 years and you've had millions of people coming in and you have no idea who they are, but every now and again they catch someone who's on the terror most wanted list. Oh, no. It's because Elon Musk quoted or replied to a tweet, "You speak actual truth," and we'll get to the tweet. Oh, no. Forget the open border. Forget all of that. Forget the fentanyl. Forget the fact that you have people on the terrorist watch list crossing the border, and you know that they are because you've caught a dozen or so. And guaranteed, if you've caught a dozen or so, that's all of them. There's nobody else. You got all of them. The border security works perfectly. It's not like you have hundreds of thousands of potential criminals coming in from south of the border, including Russians for whatever the reason, Chinese nationals. No. It's Elon Musk that is the actual source of actual risk for America. You got it, Keith. At least you're not spitting and frothing at the mouth like you did when you were calling Republicans snowflakes because they're just scared of a little needle that contains God knows what, but it's done wonders for you.
The president or Congress or the states or all of them acting together must ban Twitter X.
All of the government must ban a private enterprise because they disagree with his speech. The speech of the CEO of a reply to a tweet. Ban it. Hey, Keith, I've got an idea. Instead of bringing China here, why don't you just go to China? How about that? Instead of you bringing Eastern European communism here, why don't you just find a nice country where the government controls everything, shuts down private businesses, not only cuts contracts, but contacts. You got to go past the contracts. Cuts that. Why don't you move to fascism instead of importing fascism here? Maybe, how about we try that? I didn't come down from Canada where the government can freeze your bank accounts if they don't like the charity that you donated to, so that fascist, tyrant, demented old men shaking their fists at the crowds can come here and say, "Bring it to us." We're not done yet.
And sever all contracts and contacts with all of Elon Musk's other companies. SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company, Neuralink, and XAI.
Destroy it. Destroy all of them. A green company like Tesla. Fuck the environment, Keith. I'm sorry. You don't forget green cars now. Forget the environment. Forget the climate crisis that is the greatest existential threat to humans now. Shut the companies down. Shut them down because you didn't like a tweet that he replied to. Yeah, but you're the good guys. You love free speech, but you need a censor to preserve free speech. You love democracy, but you need to keep contenders off the ballot to preserve democracy. You love the environment, but shut down the green companies because they said something that you heard here at Fifi's. You don't even know how. You don't even know what. Do you even know what he said?
Elon Musk has gone down a path of hate,
projection,
and potential violence.
Keith, if I read the news tomorrow that said Keith Olbermann savagely beat his neighbor because his neighbor had a Trump flag, it wouldn't shock me. In fact, do we know that Keith wasn't Ron Paul's neighbor? A path of hatred and violence? Dude, if I read tomorrow that Keith Olbermann sucker punched a Trump supporter, I wouldn't be surprised. I would say, how did it take so long?
From which he cannot backtrack.
You notice there's no forgiving anymore. They are enemies, existential enemies, from which they cannot backtrack. What are you calling for here, Keith? Just out of curiosity. Is it hatred? Is it violence? He's irredeemable. Elon Musk is irredeemable.
Either he goes or Twitter X must. All that and more on the Friday Countdown podcast, now live wherever you podcast and also on YouTube. Hit the link or scan the QR code.
I wish we could see the numbers, actually. You don't judge much by the numbers. Success leaves clues and insanity leaves clues as well. I'd love to see what the numbers are. This guy is absolutely out of his gourd. Who knows what movie that's from? He's out of his gourd. Holy cow. So I see that this morning. I'm like, okay, what the hell is he talking about? I mean, I saw the tweet where Elon Musk replies, "You speak actual truth." And we're going to get into it. Whether or not Elon Musk amplified anti-Semitic, what was the word that the media is using now? Apple, by the way, has pulled their advertising from Twitter. Whenever I hear these news stories breaking, my first question is, I don't recall ever seeing an Apple ad on Twitter. And it's not to say they don't. I mean, they advertise everywhere, but I don't know why they need to advertise anywhere, because it's sort of like Red Bull. It's sort of like GoPro. When it comes to phones, iPhones, I mean, it's in the definition. It's in the word. I've never seen an Apple ad on Twitter. It would be interesting if Elon would tell us what their advertising budget was. If it's actually just a virtue signaling sort of, what was the other company that said they're pulling their ads? Burger King. It's like, oh, wait, dude, I've never seen Burger King advertising. Oh, that was Burger King on Rumble after Rumble refused to accede to the demands to demonetize Russell Brand. They said, whoa, we are a disgusting fast food, terrible for your health, utterly disgusting company, but we're going to pull our ad dollars from Rumble, even though I have been on Rumble for damn near a decade, but really more so for the last 4 years. Never seen a Burger King ad. I really hope I'm not making a mistake on the Burger King versus Wendy's. I'm pretty sure it was Burger King. I'd like to know what the advertising revenue budget was for Apple, because I've never seen an Apple ad on Twitter either. But who knows? Okay, but it doesn't matter. Let's just see what the tweet was. This savagely, vitriolically anti-Semitic tweet that Elon amplified, warranting shutting them down, cancel the contracts, not just with Twitter, with Boring, Tesla, all of his companies, and not just the contracts, the contacts, other him, put him, debank him. I wonder what happens if Elon Musk gets debanked. Elon, you'll have to take your $40 billion, or no, how much is he worth? I don't know what he's worth. Take your billions of dollars and take it elsewhere. We don't want your business. The tweet was this. I know I pulled it up here. The tweet was Elon Musk. Here we go. I think this is it. That's not it. Oh, tabarnouche. Breaking. That's Hillary. No, we're going to get to Hillary Clinton. Where's the tweet? Los Angeles. Oh, I think it's this. Let me see. Is it this one? Nope, that's not it. That's Gavin Newsom being a liar. We're going to get to that one later anyhow. Hold on just 1 second. Now I've lost everything here. Oh, gosh. Okay, hold on. Get that out of here. Remove, stop screen. Elon Musk. The tweet is... No. Oh, this is so irritating. I brought the bloody tweet up. The tweet said, "You speak actual truth." That's what I should have it under. Elon Musk. Okay, no, that's there. The artist, I think, is this it? Yes, this is the one. This is the one. From the artist formerly known as Eric. This profile may contain potentially sensitive content. Well, yeah, I'd like to see it because I'm not a baby. Do you feel in charge? Father, husband, cybersecurity, serving engineer, neuroscience, physiology. Do you guys know that my wife is a neuroscientist? I'm going to see if she knows this guy. The artist formerly known as Eric. He writes this. Okay. Oh, is this annoying? Okay, here we go. Okay. Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Let me read that again. Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit show now about Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. You want the truth said to your face, there it is. Wow, actually, now that I reread that, a third or fourth, I don't know how many times. Let me just go here so I can see what Elon Musk's exact reply was. Elon Musk's exact reply was, well, let's bring that one up too. I believe it's "You speak exact. I'm going to keep that one up so I can remember it. Stop screen. And we're going to go to Elon Musk's reply, which was this. You have said the actual truth. I don't, it's such a feverish, insane response to Elon Musk's tweet. That was, as far as I understand it, and chat and Rumble, please let me know if I'm wrong. As far as I understand it, that was the tweet. Okay. Let's go back to the original tweet, because I actually, on rereading it a fifth time, I do wonder if people are not misunderstanding everything about this. Okay, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I suspect the problem with this first paragraph is unspecified which Jewish communities, and the broad sweeping generalization, because as we have seen, as anybody's seen just by virtue of being here, there is room for disagreement, and there is actual disagreement even among the Jewish community. So I'm not sure what is meant by the first paragraph. Jewish communities. I mean, one knows certainly that there are organizations that have been promoting open borders, promoting diversity as our strength, promoting policies internationally that Israel does not adopt nationally. This is not controversial. You may say there's good reason for it. A lot of these activist organizations are progressive in nature, and therefore it's understandable. My retort would be, in as much as anybody wants to generalize about Jewish communities pushing anti-white or whatever is meant in this first paragraph, there are as many Jews who might not be doing anything in the name of being Jewish, but might be Jewish and doing things in the exact opposite side of things, pushing for responsible border control, pushing for responsible immigration control. Am I in the tweet here? Let's take this out for a second. My retort to the attacks, which are written off as anti-Semitic attacks, but even I can't take that shortcut. When people say it's anti-Semitic to call Trump's impeachment the Jew coup. It was called the Jew coup, people. I don't know if anybody knows this. The Jew coup, C-O-U-P. And it was called the Jew coup, or at least it was dubbed the Jew coup by people that the media will call anti-Semites, because there were seemingly a statistically disproportionate number of players, actors in the Trump impeachment who were Jewish. And at some point, you can't criticize people for observing what is demonstrably accurate. There were a statistical disproportionate number of Jewish members of Congress, Jewish players, Jewish lawyers involved in the first Trump impeachment. Adam Schiff, Nadler, Boxer, Vindman, the lawyer, I can't remember their names. Okay, you can't criticize people for noticing that because it might just be an observational fact. My retort to that would be there were just as many, or if not just as many, a statistical overrepresentation of Jewish individuals involved in the Trump side in fighting it. And so what you might choose to observe might be an indication of your own biases, predetermined sort of what you're looking for. You're looking for golf balls. Anything that looks white is going to be you'll think it's a golf ball. So people can call it the Jew coup, but then some people can say, well, it's the Jew opposition as well, because there were a statistically disproportionate number of Jewish players involved in battling the impeachment. But you can't blame people for making certain just statistical overrepresentation observations. You can't blame them for that. If you try to, you actually just come off saying and looking like the one who's just denying what is obvious. And by denying what is statistically or observationally obvious, you come off as disingenuous and liars. So you write it off as anti-Semitism. Oh, you call it the Jew coup, it's anti-Semitic. No. People can observe that because it's probably an observational fact. What they might be ignoring to counter whatever biases they may have is that there was a statistical overrepresentation of Jewish players also involved in countering the impeachment. But let's just go back to the second paragraph here. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit show now about Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. What does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry. And to which Elon Musk, wisely or unwisely, because Twitter is meant for disagreement, that's how its engagement is generated. He wisely or unwisely said, "You speak the actual truth." What are we witnessing on the streets of the West right now, from Canada to America? It's politically unpopular to say, but it's obvious what we're witnessing. Let me read it again before I take it out. I don't give a shit. I'll paraphrase. I don't give a shit about Western Jewish populations realizing now that the people that they have welcomed into Western countries through open borders, through decriminalizing illegal immigration, that, whoa. Now all of a sudden we realize they don't like us. And they're here, and now we're scared. We as in they. I've always been scared, so I don't have to include myself in that. Where is the factual error in that? We're seeing violent protests in Canada, violent protests in America, under the pretext of supporting the Palestinian cause, but my goodness, it just needs an excuse. When you do not protest other egregious injustices, slavery in Libya, massacres in Syria, massacres, when you don't protest those, and you only protest one might not be accused of being suspicious of motivation, but set that aside. We're seeing these protests across Canada. In Montreal, for those of you who don't know, the pro-Palestinian, and I say pro-Palestinian, the people who have not spoken a word about Palestinian plight in the last, decade? I mean, I can recall now it's been over a decade where nobody really cared because nothing's been happening. But now it's the soup du jour. I haven't said anything for a decade. Don't say anything about actual human slavery in Libya after Hillary Clinton's infamous, "We came, we saw, he died," cackle. She's thinking about suing Trump for defamation. We'll see how far that goes. Satan doesn't have a reputation to be defamed. Okay. They blocked the Jacques Cartier Bridge, I believe it was, in Montreal. Only one of the biggest bridges. Montreal is an island, for those of you who don't know. Jacques Cartier. You got the Tunnel La Fontaine. You've got the Champlain. It was the Champlain Bridge. I don't think it was the Jacques Cartier. Whatever. Either way, they blocked one of the biggest bridges connecting the island of Montreal to the outside world. And everyone's like, well, how is this? How are these violent protests happening now? What did they do? They took over a couple of buildings, the pro-Palestinian protesters. And it's not to say that the Palestinians have not been suffering. And I dare say that my perspective on this is actually more accurate and more sympathetic and less exploitive. But what you have right now is Greta Thunberg coming out. No climate crisis on occupied land. No climate crisis on occupied land. You have no effing idea what you're talking about. You just see the Palestinians as a nice resource, a nice trending hashtag to affix your climate crisis agenda to. That's called grifting. A lot of grifters couldn't have cared less about the Palestinians a month and a half ago, but now it's a good pretext to push their own political agendas, and to whether that's climate agenda or anti-Israel agenda. And notice I did say anti-Israel and not anti-Semitic. So a lot of these progressive groups, sanctuary city groups, open border groups, diversity is our strength groups are now saying, well, holy shit, they're here, and I don't think they're down with a lot of what we believe are Western values. And this guy says it in as many words right here. I don't give a shit about the Western Jewish populations now that they've come to the realization that the hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. Some might say that those minorities don't like Jews too much. Others who view it rationally and objectively, like myself, say they don't like the Jews too much. They don't like Western values too much. That might be part of the problem. And Angela Merkel in Germany discovered the problem. Americans, deep down, politicians, activist groups, deep down they understand it. But it feels so good in the time until it comes to bite you in the ass to say, sanctuary cities, no one is illegal. And then lo and behold, you realize that, not everybody. Some people are genuinely looking for better lives. Not everybody. And they come in and they don't like you. They don't like the Jewish community. They don't like Western values. The Osama bin Laden's letter to America, in as much as anybody believes it's a legitimate letter that was actually written by Osama bin Laden, despite the fact that he probably was a CIA asset in the technical sense, in that funded by, trained by, and then turned on, whatever. His letter to America, which is trending on TikTok, I talked about it yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't. You thought that the borders that you opened to people from all across the world with no vetting, no legal requirements, no, not indoctrination, but insurance of ideological alignment. Maybe they're not down with the 2S LGBTQIA plus movement, and you're going to find that out sooner than later. They're not down with the communities that have been welcoming them in. Diversity is our strength. Oh shit! Well, now we realize that, and now you're complaining about it. And this guy says, "Too late. What is it? Too bad, so sad." And Elon Musk says, "I agree. You speak the actual truth." That's anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic to the point of pulling their advertising. You know what's amazing and really disgusting about it? I just realized this in real time. Apple's not pulling their advertising. They're a bunch of virtue signaling whores. They're not pulling their advertising. What they're doing is they're converting their advertising. In fact, they're actually even more insidious than that. This is guerrilla advertising. They say, holy shit, why would I have to pay for advertising on Twitter when I can get more advertising by saying that I'm pulling my advertising from Twitter? It's an amazing thing. For the better part of the day, every blue checkmark liberal Democrat MSM propagandist has been talking about how Apple has pulled their advertising from Twitter. That's amazing. They spent the entire day talking about Apple, and Apple not only didn't have to pay for it, Apple is going to save money, allegedly, by not paying for advertising on Twitter so that media can run with how Apple has pulled their advertising from Twitter. Opportunist, grifter, dishonest bastards. There I said, you know what? Don't even blame the gin slinger because I haven't even dipped into this. Capers on the bottom. It's delicious. Opportunistic, virtue signaling whores. I mean, there's no other way to put it. There's war whores, and then there's opportunistic virtue signaling media whores. It's actually an amazing thing. Everybody is talking about Apple, and they don't even have to pay for the advertising anymore. Now, I would still like to know what their budget was on Twitter, but who knows? And then meanwhile, Elon Musk, shut him down. You know what they should do actually, Keith? They should nationalize his companies. Just take them. Take Twitter. He can't handle the truth. Take Twitter. I hear kids. Why are they back? Marion? Why are you back? Okay, I don't know what they're doing, but too bad. They said I had an hour and a quarter. I'm going to use my hour and a quarter. So that's the latest with Elon Musk. I'm going to get to. What am I going to get to? I'm going to get to Rumble in a second. Let me just see what's going on here. Oh yeah, by the way, everybody, I'm not good at asking for it. Hit the thumbs up and drop a comment on the Rumbles. Let's see where we're at. We're at, the last time I refreshed, it was 12 thumbs up and 0 thumbs down. So we're doing good. It's 100% thumbs up rate. Refresh. Yes, 165 thumbs up and 0 thumbs down. Batting 1,000. Holy crab apples. Okay, I'm going to just read a couple of chats. Pray and Spray says, the thing you have to remember about Keith Olbermann is that he is still angry about being passed over for lead sportscaster at KNBC Los Angeles in the 1980s. Fred Rogan beat him. Dude, I don't know anything about Keith Olbermann. He's crazy. I mean, he's unhinged and unwell. Western 63 says, my prayer is by the end of 2024, our governments will be 1/10 the size and run by the people. Well, that's not a prayer, Western. That's a dream. That's never going to happen. And it's actually, I've talked about it in Canada. It's how the governments, it's how they basically surreptitiously obtain full control over the population. You increase the size of the administrative states, very casually and passively at first. Create jobs here, government jobs, create government jobs there. They never go away. And then when the government decides to go full fascist, like they did in Canada, if you defy the government, they'll fire you. You're dependent on them, and you can't speak out against them. And look at that. They've got, I don't know what percentage. Actually, let me see this here. What percentage, what do you think of Canadian employment is government? I don't know if this is going to be a number that I'm going to get. What percentage of Canadian employment? Wow. All right, chat. Who's going to get the closest to this? What percentage, this is from Statistics Canada, what percentage, and I'll read it the way it is, employment in the public sector accounts for what percentage of employed Canadians? Take a guess, actually. It's very, very... Faithless is pretty damn close. Okay, scrap it. Scrap it. 20%. 1 in 5 Canadians is dependent on the government. That means... actually, 1 in 5 is employed by the government. That probably means 3 in 5 Canadians is dependent on the government. I mean, that one person's got a family. Wow, Craven, you were way off. 60%. 18.5% no looks as J.W. Gullett. Well, you got close. Does that count doctors? Dude, if it doesn't count doctors, it's whatever. I'll have to go with that. I don't know if it counts doctors, but it's an amazing thing. You get the population dependent on the government, and they are powerless to defy the government. Who said it? The most revolutionary thing you can do is learn to grow a tomato, or not learn, but grow a tomato. There's a reason why the government doesn't want family as a unit, as an entity to exist in and of itself. It's already defying the government merely by existing. I absolutely forget what the hell I was talking about with that. So that was talking about the size of the government, employment. Well, I'll be damned. I forgot. I can smell the fan came on, and I think my wife is now cooking something. Ooh, that smells good. So what was that percentage? Mel Belfour, that's the percentage of Canadians employed by the public sector, by the government. 20%, 1 in 5. Oh, I was talking about shrinking the government. That was the wish to shrink the government. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen by design. And when governments want to get elected, they don't talk about shrinking government. I mean, it's the other way. It's the other thing. It's the surefire way to ensure re-election. You come out there and say, I'm going to cut the public sphere down. I'm going to cut down construction workers. I'm going to cut down government contractors, doctors, nurses, federal employees. Well, you've just lost 20%. You've lost more than 20% of the vote, but at least 20% of the vote. Good luck getting elected with that. It's by design. It's full tyranny. And then, you say, why are the cops just following orders? What the hell else are they going to do? They've got a family to feed. If the government tells them to go pepper spray the dude at Tim Hortons because he's not wearing a mask, they're going to do it. Can't get fired. Oh, okay, so that was Twitter. That was unhinged Keith Olbermann. The other thing that I want to talk about, there's a lot of infighting that should not be happening publicly. Jeremy Boring, as relates to the Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro tiff, and I don't know who I think is more wrong in the tiff. All that I know is that either one of them could stop it at any point in time by not engaging in it. I'm not the best person in the world to say this. I think I choose to fight mean with the people who deserve it, and I choose to remain polite and respectful, even if I have to disagree with them, with the people who I think also deserve it. So the fight between Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro. I don't want to... all that I said is they should not be having this fight publicly. Barnes, if anybody has watched The Bourbon with Barnes from last night, has an interesting theory as to why that is. He suspects perhaps Candace Owens wants out of her contract with the Daily Wire, and the only way to do that is to get fired, and hence this is sort of antagonism to get fired so she can get out of the contract, maybe under the terms of like a Tucker Carlson. I don't know. And I don't care. I don't like the fighting. These are two people who a lot of people respect, and a lot of overlapping people respect. When the Steven Crowder Daily Wire fight happened, a lot of people were saying, I feel like I'm a kid in a relationship where parents are getting divorced. And they're not wrong. The other one of the day, I met Laura Loomer at the Mar-a-Lago Dinesh D'Souza premiere. And I don't think I even need to bring the tweet up. I met Laura Loomer. She seems to do some very good work journalistically. She's dogged. She's relentless. She's remorseless. But there's a line between remorseless and vindictive. And she does good work. I don't know her from a hole in the wall personally, and I don't know of her internet history. But I met her. We talked. Started following on Twitter. She's been doing good work, even though she's much more antagonistic than I would be. Fine. She's now decided that Riley Gaines is the object of her vitriol. Or some will say they're both throwing down, fighting with each other, so all's fair in love and Twitter war. Bullcrap. And so today, in order to discredit Riley Gaines, Laura Loomer journalistically provided receipts that Riley Gaines is getting paid by the DeSantis campaign for, I don't know, an appearance. She got paid $12,000 for an appearance. Whether or not that's a speaking fee, compensation for hotel, travel, etc., a little bit of A, a little bit of B, whatever. And so she provides the FEC filing, which contained, she has since taken the tweet down, so I'll give her credit for that. And I'd like to pretend, or at least, pretend to myself that I had some role to play in that. She took her tweet down and retweeted it with the blacked out version of Riley Gaines' address and the amount that she was paid. But she tweeted out originally saying, whatever, we're fighting, and it's all's fair in love in Twitter war. Riley Gaines is a liar. She didn't disclose that she got paid by Ron DeSantis' campaign. And here's the proof from the FEC filings. And lo and behold, it has Riley Gaines' home address on it. Dirty, vindictive, thoughtless, maybe in her mind it wasn't that big of a deal because she had rationalized it to herself in the way that she did, which is, it's public information anyhow. Anybody can find it. If they know to think about going to look in the FEC filings, and then they themselves could find it. So instead of letting people or forcing people to do all of that work, if they were so inclined, I'm just going to go blast it to my millions of followers in the interwebs. It's a big fat no-no in my view, period. An individual's, I don't know if it's her home address, but an individual's address is fundamentally different than a business address. Businesses exist to serve the public. Individuals don't. The fact that it's publicly available is far different from it being publicly on blast to a million people, some of whom are vindictive, malicious, but lazy. And now they're like, oh shit, look at that. I wouldn't have known how to find that myself. Oh, even if it is public, I would never have known where to go. And I said, the useful information in that was the quantum and existence of the contribution, not her home address. It would have taken you all of 2 minutes to block it before tweeting it. And I said that. I didn't call her names. I said, look, it's terrible. Shouldn't have been done, period. It would have taken 2 minutes to black out the address. And then I don't get too much hate, and I don't care. People are entitled to their opinions. Well, it's public information. It's like, first of all, in a way, everybody's home address is public information. It doesn't mean that you go broadcast it to the internet for no better reason. That may not be doxing in the legal sense, although it might be doxing in the terms of service sense of Twitter. You don't do it, period. It's not complicated. Just a question of pure courtesy as a human to human, let alone as a human to Riley Gaines, who has been an outspoken, vocal, let's call it anti-trans. It's not anti-trans, a women's rights advocate, an activist against the trans movement that seeks to basically wipe out women's rights. You don't do that with someone like Riley Gaines, period. Doesn't matter if you could technically find it, if you knew that she made the donation and then knew that those donation has information that's available somewhere on the internet. Doesn't fucking matter. You can go to the courthouse, pull up court documents that have the affiant's name, address on the documents. It's publicly available. It's not on the internet, but it's publicly available technically. To go do that and then blast the addresses on the internet for no better reason can easily be misconstrued as absolute reckless vindictiveness. And I said as much politely, and she took down the tweet and said, I'm retweeting, cover your ass, and everybody, nobody can admit they made a mistake. So say, look, it's public information, and why didn't Ron DeSantis block that information? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, fine. She did the right thing. Better late than never. And even if she did it, whatever, it's done. So there's that. But these are stupid fights to be having. First of all, what I find particularly trivial about a lot of the DeSantis peeps on Twitter, very ad hominem, very petty. And that's not to say it's one-sided. So that was the drama there. It makes everybody look bad. But I would dare say, especially, it makes Laura Loomer look bad because a number of the replies in this conversation was, she does good work. Why does she need to make it so hard to support her work by doing stupid, vindictive, malicious things like this? Give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe her explanation is, well, it's public and I really didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I might call BS on that. But it makes everyone look bad. And if Laura, I don't know if she's listening or watching, doesn't matter, but when a number of people saying it makes it very hard to support the work that you do when you do things like this, everybody's got their foibles, everyone's got their weaknesses, everyone's got their problem of delivery, or maybe they've got their Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But it was unnecessary, excusable. I will not pull Keith Olbermann irredeemable, but it makes it hard for people like myself, for example. You might do good work. You might push the envelope in terms of edginess, sassiness that I might not go to, but it's still not morally objectionable to me. Posting someone's home address, even if it's public, bullshit. Especially when it's something like Riley Gaines, don't do it. Period. J.W. Gullett says, she may do good work, but this amplifies her voice by pointing it out. I'm not sure what you mean by that, if I'm amplifying it by doing this. No, she does good work, period. And then maybe, you know, like when I was a young lawyer, I was too aggressive. And you learn. And you learn primarily because people can make your life a living hell as well if they wanted to. And so you have to be fair. And if you're not fair, other people are going to be not fair with you. And now that might be a vicious circle. Other people are not fair with you, and therefore you get vindictive and even more so. Well, now I'm going to be double not fair with them. And that's how countries descend into war, societies devolve into infighting, and fracturing within the fracturing of allies to the point where you've got nothing but shards of broken glass of a society, and it's up to the governments to rein in the madness. Okay. Not that girl says Viva is the fairest. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of the... No, I just have a fear of everything. I do treat everybody the way I would want to be treated. Now, admittedly, that will not work with certain people, and I'm not stupid, but I still do it. Okay, now, that was the side thing that I didn't really want to talk about, but we got to it anyhow. Where did my wife go? Let me see something here. Hold on. I'm just going to see what the schedule is. We're back. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so one of the items was canceled due to weather. Well, too bad. We're here for at least another half an hour, and I'm not even halfway through my... I don't know what that sounds like on the receiving end, so I'll just stop doing it in case it's too annoying. Okay, so there's that. Elon Musk is an irredeemable anti-Semite, and I guess I should know better because, you know, he's after me and I should feel scared. Whereas I think actually the point being made in that tweet was legitimate. It was not actually only directed at Jewish communities and was actually more directed at American progressive politics as a whole. But maybe I'm just one of them self-hating Jews. All right, what do we got here? Oh, cripe. Let's go to the Canadian side of the border. Let me just take a deep breath. This is going to make me... it makes me so angry. I will not stare into that abyss for too long. I will say that I was very slow to the Nuremberg 2.0 train, but I'm on it. Hashtag Nuremberg 2.0. So I see, I think I'm going to see the tweet that originated it because I want to give credit to where I originally saw it from. Yes, Ryan Gerritsen, who I know, I know from the internet. I feel like I know him personally. His name, Ryan Gerritsen. Unlike the media, we must hold politicians accountable, not celebrate them. Interest? The No Agenda Show. Golf? I don't know what Jing is. DJ. Oh, DJing. I'm a total idiot. I haven't left the house in a long time, so I don't know what DJing is. And that is the Goggles Do Nothing episode of Radioactive Man from The Simpsons. This even works with my enemies. If you have a Simpsons meme in your timeline, I will immediately think you're a good person until proof to the contrary. Okay, so Gerritsen posts a segment from this commercial, and just for the sake of time, I'm not going to play Gerritsen's segment. I see the segment where he says, Toronto Sick Kids Hospital ad, normalizing heart attacks in kids and babies, absolutely disgusting. I see his video, and then I say, I got to find the original. And I've got to understand the context, and I've got to see what's going on. So, spoiler alert, this came from the Sick Kids YouTube channel from 1 month ago. And you guessed it, comments disabled. We're going to watch it. I'm going to break it down. It's just absolutely awful. Here's a teenager just lying dead from a heart attack. Because it happens all the time. I mean, now it happens so often that no one would say they don't know someone who knows someone. When I was a kid, it happened 3 times in my life, and my mother never let us forget it. This kid died playing football. He had a heart attack. It was heat stroke. Yeah. When you overexert in the heat, dehydrate, you can get hypernatremia, whatever. It happened 3 times, and I remember because my mother traumatized me. Don't overexercise in the summer. David, don't overexercise in the summer. Now I'm starting to feel like Howard Stern. Forget that. Okay. So, yeah, it happened once in a flipping blue moon. Not to the point now where apparently they're giving out code pinks in hospitals for adolescents suffering from heart attacks in Montreal, if that's true news. It's from someone who I trust, but you never know what's true these days. This is the ad. 2.5 minutes. Very well done. Very compelling.
What's going on? Hey, guys, back up, okay?
Horrifying. It's horrifying. There you go. It's horrifying. And I got to tell you something. I know more people that are more familiar with this than familiar from hospitalization from COVID. But by the way, this will never draw a firm connection between and no, it's just
You have no pulse.
no pulse, heart attack, 18-year-old kid. There you parents sobbing in the hallway. Their kid just had a heart attack. Who knows why? We're not normalizing anything, except this is now the 3rd ad that I've seen for, normalizing heart attacks in kids. The other one was a blonde white girl from the UK, I think. Oh, we got to go back. We got to go back to the past. When did it start? Oh, so that's him there in school. Back it up. Because surely it's not something that has to do with anything recent. This can only be traced back to childhood because, honey, remember that time our kid was out of breath when he was a baby? He always had a heart condition, and we never knew it. And now every parent who has a teenage boy that suffers myocarditis or a cardiac issue can blame it on him being out of breath when he was a baby. Watch. Plausible deniability is what it's creating for parents. Here he is in class.
I got everything I want. Not what you think.
That's right before the incident. It's a very compelling ad. It's making me want to cry right now.
It might have been a night.
Oh, remember when you did track and field and you were out of breath? You actually had a heart condition.
To anyone of mine.
And if you thought it was normal just to be out of breath after running a track and field thing, you were wrong. It was actually pre-myocarditis. That's why you had a heart attack at 18 in 2023 after having had 5 jabs. But they don't talk about any of that here. Oh, remember that time you were biking and you were out of breath?
Thought I could fly.
Remember when you were on the bus?
Watch the stuff that goes on.
Remember when you were on... Oh, this is it. Remember when you were a baby and you sat down? Oh, can you imagine this father is going to be his father now. His kid, I saw an ad from a hospital. When your baby sits down as a baby, it means they had a childbirth defect in their heart. And that explains why he had the heart attack. It has nothing to do with anything else. Trust us.
Right. Nobody even noticed. I saw them standing right there.
And now they're going to get into how they can cure it. I'm not playing the rest of this. Okay, you got all this stuff. They make we've made the scientific discovery. We add the little thing to his heart. Oh, and if only you get this done, it's going to start your heart again when you have a heart attack.
As long as I'm here.
What if we could predict illness before it starts? What if you could predict illness right now? With Precision Child Health, we can.
Don't wanna lie here.
It's a very good ad. Sick Kids, healthefuture.ca. It's a great ad. I mean, it's well done. It's moving. It's actually very emotional. And it's actually disgusting. How many ads? How many? I mean, like, maybe I wasn't paying attention back in 2019, but I don't recall ever seeing ads normalizing or even addressing childhood cardiac issues. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's now I'm looking for golf balls in the forest and anything that's white looks like a golf ball. Normalize it. Happens all the time. Oh, if you thought it had to do with anything recent, just think back to your childhood. At any point in time during your child's upbringing, was he out of breath? Oh, shoot, yeah, he was. That time he was doing track and field when he was 10. He was out of... Oh, he had myocarditis. Don't worry. It's nothing to do with anything you've done or authorized to be done in the last 3 or 4 years. It's from that. Oh, remember when he was a baby and he pooped his diaper and he had to sit down afterwards? Oh, that was early indications of the heart condition. It's a shame you didn't pick up on it then. Had you, things would have been different. Disgusting. Enraging. I just saw it. I'm going to read it. King Cyrus 26. It's so evil, it is all fucked up. Wow. Practicing illness before it starts is bold advertising. Oh, predicting illness before it starts is bold advertising. No, or it's just read the label. And it's actually just, it is enraging because I don't like being angry, but I find myself in that state. No, I say like angry. It's just I'm resigned to human fallibility, human stupidity, and human evil. There are people who are fallible, all of us. There are people who are stupid, some of us. And there are some of us who are evil, an even smaller amount. And the ones who are evil, who pushed shit on your children, and but for the grace of God, the ones who did it, they now see the storm coming. And what are they doing? Oh, here's an ad. If your child at 18 now has a cardiac issue, just look back into their past and find something else to blame it on other than your decision to vaccinate your child. Maybe. I might be wrong, but maybe. Okay, well, that's it. Serenity now. I still don't remember the serenity. I remember the concept of the serenity prayer. I just can't remember the wording. Serenity prayer. We're doing it now. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You know what? If I ever get a tattoo, it's going to be the serenity prayer. That way I'll never forget it. Well, I got to pee. So now that I know that my wife is home, that I smell meat being cooked, I'm going to make sure that I can finish this by 8:30. I have to pee, but I'm going to hold it in. All right, so this is the latest one. So the Miami guy. Okay, so I have to explain why I just made that mistake. I just got a tweet notification from, notifications from Walrus Whisperer. And we're going to do it right now. Walrus Whisperer. I hear the music in my head. Look at this. This is amazing. Okay, we're doing this. This was not on the menu, but it's going to be on the menu right now. Boom. Incognito, just so that nobody accidentally sees my cell number or anybody else's cell number. In my private DMs. Here we go. Boom shakalaka. Update to previous post. I was contacted by Walrus Whisperer. This is his post, and he is now facing legal troubles for posting the video. You will want it to help. So below is the GoFund. Oh, I want to. Okay, everybody wants to help. You cannot help with GoFundMe. It has to be Give, Send, Go. Period. Full stop. You want it to help. So below is the GoFundMe link for his legal fees to help him keep fighting for Romeo. And this is it. Okay. So here's what I'm not doing right now. I'm not sharing the GoFundMe. I will start a Give, Send, Go for Phil Demers, and I will blast it. This is Urgent Seas, who tweeted, this video was taken on November 13, 2023, above the Miami Sea Aquarium. Romeo, a 67-year-old manatee, lives in complete isolation in ever-deteriorating conditions. We must fight for Romeo. Free Romeo. Holy shit, Phil. This is I did a short documentary of my visit to Miami Sea Aquarium. Got me blocked by Miami Sea Aquarium on Twitter. Okay. I'm starting a Give, Send, Go. It'll be tonight. That'll be it. That's it. And I'm going to give everybody this link right here. Okay, go share it, please. I cannot support GoFundMe, period, full stop. I will support Phil, and I'll start something good. Okay, that wasn't what we were going for. What we were going for right now was Los Angeles Times. Here we go. I won't share the article. I hate sharing Fox News, but sometimes, unfortunately, they're they're the source for a lot of stuff. Armed homeowner who defended family in driveway shootout says he's been stripped of gun permit. NRA, the National Rifle Association, calls revocation of man's concealed carry permit reprehensible. So you all know this story. This is the man. His name is Ricci. I've reached out to him on Instagram, and I'd love for him to come on and talk about it. He's the man. There was a video that went viral. Dan Bongino covered it. He was getting He was approached by two armed gunmen as he was entering his house. He threw his hot tea in their face, pulled out his gun, fired shots, chased them down, and is now apparently his concealed carry permit has been revoked by LA. They won't defend you, and they'll sure as hell make sure that you can't defend yourself. The Los Angeles man who defended himself with a concealed carry has had his permit revoked. Allegedly, it's for yelling at an officer. But for everyone else, I say this, for everyone else, it's clear. Your right to self-defense is illusory. They will not protect you. And when you protect yourself, they will give you the Daniel Penny treatment. They'll give you the Kyle Rittenhouse treatment. They'll give you the dude in New York, the one in Texas or New York, I forget which. They'll give you the McCloskey treatment. You defend yourself, they will prosecute you. You don't defend yourself, I hope you're ready to meet God. Those are the options right now. Take your chances with your armed thugs, because if you fight them off, they're going to come for you either through litigation, persecution, prosecution, or retribution. Holy crap, did that just work out absolutely perfectly with all of the issues. And so apparently they pulled his permit, his concealed carry. Now, I did make the joke. Wouldn't it be funny if this was a staged thing so that, I don't know, viral video, yada, yada, yada. The video looked perfectly rehearsed, but rehearsed and practiced are two different things. Training and rehearsal are the same thing. So wouldn't it be amazing? Is this the one with Ian Corzine? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Now, Ian Corzine, who I had on the channel recently, and if you're not following him, you should be. He's a very, very good guy. A very smart man. He's got his legal takes, and I love it. I mean, it's formulaic. He says he's got legal take, lawyer's take, not legal take. Can the revocation of a concealed carry permit be appealed? Okay, hold on. Now it's gone, and I got all the capers. Hold on, because I don't even want people to hear this. I swallowed the capers. Okay. Ian Corzine's legal take. Proper grounds for revocation of concealed carry weapon permits are criminal convictions, doesn't look like it applies here. Restraining orders, doesn't look like it applies here. Mental health issues, does not look like it applies here. Substance abuse, says Viva as he takes his last sip of martini. No, doesn't look like it applies here. Lapse in qualifications, certainly doesn't look like it applies here. Providing false information, okay, and unsafe handling. This is not one that I picked up earlier today. Or misuse of a firearm. I have no doubt they will allege that, I think the guy's name is Ricci, that he misused or unsafely handled his firearm by discharging it at fire, maybe. Or that he provided false information. Watch the video. He did not violate any of these rules. Yelling about substandard police work is not a valid ground for revocation of a CCW, concealed carry weapon, and therefore this man should appeal and he will win. Yeah, good. And the penalty is the process. But I do wonder. I am now a traumatized conspiracy theorist. A, did he provide false information? Are they going to allege that this was a setup of sorts, and that it was done for whatever the reason, viral video reasons? Presumably, in his interview, he said, the men, when it looked like they were running away, they were actually firing back at me. Presumably, there will be bullet holes somewhere behind him so that can be verified. If it turns out that there were no bullet holes behind him, i.e. they were not actually firing, all right, maybe he provided false information. B, are they going to say he recklessly discharged his firearm? They're going to find some other pretext. The bottom line here, however, for the time being, the bottom line lesson. Leave blue states because they will persecute you into what's the word? The opposite of existence. Oh goodness, I can't remember the word. They will prosecute you out of existence. They will persecute you out of existence, or they will simply jail you. And so that was the latest on that. Okay, let's go to speaking. Oh, by the way, so the Ricci, the guy who pulled out his gun and said, I fired off some rounds and scared them off. I might have to go back to the Bronx. Oh yeah, because the New York is the best place on earth right now. Oh my goodness. Mayor Adams put this out, and it wasn't satire.
My fellow New Yorkers, in recent months, our administration
I'm sorry. Has he got an earring? What? Has he got one or two?
Delivered for you over and over again. Jobs are up, crime is down.
I don't know why I have such a noticeable reaction to him having an earring. Okay, I never noticed that before. Crime is up. Sorry. Jobs are up. Crime is down. Bullshit.
And every day,
listen to this.
We're delivering for working people. But for months, you've heard me talk about the fiscal challenges our city is facing as the cost of the asylum seeker humanitarian crises have skyrocketed.
Jobs are up. Yeah, maybe because more people have to get more jobs in order to pay their bills because inflation is up. But set that aside. Crime is down. Bullshit, Mayor Adams. If crime is down, it might be because people are not reporting it as much. If crime is down, it might be because crime is only down in 2023 because it's down in comparison to what it spiked up in 2022 and 2021. Much like inflation, you pathological liars. Oh, inflation was up 9% last month. It's only up 6% now, so it's down 3% from the comparison. If anybody believes this, it's because they're not living in New York.
Placing great strain on our budget.
Oh, and by the way, there's a great strain on our budget because we've opened our borders to everybody, many of whom might not appreciate our way of life.
At the same time, COVID-19 stimulus funding is sunsetting.
At the same time, we're not getting subsidized by the federal government. Remember what I talked about, like, in terms of the federal government coercing adherence by civilians? You think it's any different by states? You want to know how you get the states to do your federal bidding for you? Make them dependent on your federal Jesus, what's the word I'm looking for? Federal funding. We're losing our federal funding for COVID. You know what's going to happen now? You're all screwed.
We have been clear that without significant timely action from our state and federal partners, we will be forced to make some tough choices.
Oh, forced. He's
As
a big man.
As we have made these hard
choices,
choices, the well-being of New Yorkers has always been our top priority.
No, it sounds like your top priority are a bunch of non-Americans who have come for us. It sounds like your top priority is actually not Americans, not your citizens, not the people who elected you to take care of them.
We have not only managed taxpayer dollars responsibly,
bullshit,
and balanced the budget as required by law.
I can't comment on that.
But we have done so while minimizing disruption to the services New Yorkers rely on.
Now let me explain to you why those services are going to be disrupted.
In September, we directed every city agency to reduce city-funded spending by 5%.
I'll give Mayor Eric Adams credit for one thing. His propaganda is much better than Leticia James's. This guy's looking at the camera. He's not like sitting there like he's preaching to an empty room. He's looking at me. I kind of feel him staring into my soul right now. Yes, Eric Adams. I never noticed that earring before. It's beautiful.
Then, every agency has found savings with minimum disruption to services and no tax increases.
Oh, thank God, Eric Adams, you didn't increase my taxes. Holy shit, is this thanking your abuser for the abuse? I'm not going to hurt you more tonight. I'm just going to hurt you. Oh my gosh. Hey, we have a very, very serious illegal immigrant problem, but your taxes aren't going to go up. we're just going to ask you to cut spending. We're just going to ask you to volunteer for school stuff. We're just going to ask you to give up more of your time, as if your time is not money. Oh my gosh.
Our efforts were successful.
According to
Today,
whom?
We are delivering our November financial plan update with a balanced budget, just like you and your families must do when you sit down at your kitchen table and pay your bills every month.
Pay your bills every month so that we can take your money and then give it to illegal immigrants in the orders of billions. Holy, can you imagine that this is the best of Americans to govern Americans? This is insanity. This is actual idiocracy level insanity.
But while we succeeded,
Make no mistake.
by
By the way, he said, let me be clear and make no mistake at 2 points in this, which means you're about to get bullshitted.
we are not out of the woods. We added billions of dollars to care for the migrants.
We added billions of dollars of care for the migrants. You added billions of dollars to accommodate for a problem of illegal immigrants because of your idiotic open border sanctuary city policies. And now you expect the law-abiding, tax-paying citizens to pay more, cut more, and expect less so you can deal with your virtue signaling promises and the consequences thereof. You are an absolute disgrace, Eric Adams. And maybe you might have criticized it too hard because the feds are coming after you. But
COVID funding is sunsetting.
yes, that's the second time you've mentioned how you're not able to rely on federal funding anymore.
And we must close a $7 billion budget gap.
We must close a $7 billion budget gap because we're spending $7 billion more than we should. But we've made a budget balance just like you do when you sit down at the dinner table with your $100,000 a year salary. Yep. No. Oh, we got a $7 billion gap to fill. Oh, and you're trying to figure out if you can pay for your flipping groceries while we accommodate illegal immigrants that we've welcomed here on your tax bill. Oh, yeah. Hey, babe, vote for Eric Adams, people.
In the coming fiscal year. That is the reality we are facing.
No, that is the consequences of the incompetence and corruption that you have inflicted on the people you were elected to govern, Eric Adams.
And if circumstances don't change dramatically, city agencies will be forced to reduce city funding spending by 5% 2 more times within the next 6 months.
If the situation doesn't change radically, like you mean you kick out the illegal immigrants that you are expecting tax-paying citizens to pay for? Is that how it might change? Oh no, you're just going to tax them more. Criminal.
That would mean disruptions to the services we all rely on.
What's the average response time for the police call in New York? Double check it, by the way. I think it's 20 minutes, 17 minutes.
My fellow New Yorkers, in recent months, our administration has delivered for you over and over again. Jobs are up, crime is down.
Bullshit.
And every day, we're delivering for working people. But for months, you've heard me talk about the fiscal
we're back
challenges.
at the beginning. Okay, whatever. That's it. It's wondering. Like I'm used to repetition, but that already sounded repetitious to me. Holy crap. He's just mad because California was cleaned up and the government is giving the money back for it, says DDD2371. Crime is down, says Gank01. Oh yeah, crime is down. When no one reports it, there's no crime. When they legalize criminality, there's no more crime. It's an amazing system. It's actually like diabolically genius. Okay, I'm going to do this because I think there was one. Let's go real quick, like, because my wife might kill me. New York lifts gag order on Trump. We'll talk about it Sunday. Engoron is so bloody corrupt that even a higher order appellate judge. New York judge has lifted the gag order imposed on former President Trump in his civil fraud trial. Yada, yada, yada. Citing concerns over free speech. The appeals court judge David Friedman. You see, you're like full circle. In as much as you got your corrupt, if you want to like find causes for anti-Semitism and say Judge Engoron is a Jewish judge, which he is, and he's doing terrible things with his Jewish clerk, you can do that. But now you've got a Jewish judge of the Court of Appeal, I presume David Friedman, who's staying the order. So what you decide to pick on might have to do with your own predilections, your own predispositions, and your own internal biases. Engoron, who was overseeing the Trump trial, he issued a gag order, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so it's been stated. At the emergency hearing, Friedman questioned Engoron's authority to limit Trump's speech outside the courtroom and argued gag orders were more used in criminal trials where there's a fear of swaying a jury. There's no jury in the Engoron trial because Engoron has the tools to avoid that. The ruling also applies to Trump's lawyers, who say they have no plans to inhibit the former president's first. Okay, fine. So, like, this is why I mean to say, like, in as much as you want to pick on if you're inclined to go that way, if you want to pick on the ones doing the bad, you got to pick on the ones or give credit to the ones doing the good. I presume Friedman is a Jewish judge. I might be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. So that's Engoron. So let's just, we've gone through that. Liz Cheney is a pathological psychopath. Add her up. She's a partisan psychopath. Look at this. Look at this video. The violence, the insurrection. 3 edits, 4 edits,
Multiple capital entries.
5 edits, including the auto, 6 edits, 7 edits, plus the music, 8, plus this, 9. A more edit, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think we started from here. That's 15 cuts. That's 15 edits in a 32-second video, 31-second video. And Liz Cheney says, here's some January 6th video for you. Oh, she's so sassy. You know what that is? That's not January 6th video. That's government-edited propaganda. That is absolute disinformation, misinformation, and government propaganda. 44,000 hours of footage. And they've edited a 32-second clip with 15 edits of video and audio. Oh, yeah, Liz Cheney, you figured that out. You're totally not an absolute partisan propagandist liar. Hashtag spoiler alert, you are. All of that. Okay, that's that. Real quick, like going for a jog. Okay, so no, I think we've come to it. But I want to do this. Oh, all right. You know what? I actually just want to bring this one up real quick because I haven't found this confirmed anywhere else. Politics video channel, Facts Matter. They're following 40,000 people and they have 150 some odd thousand followers. That's a red flag. Facts Matter is a red flag. The official Twitter policy. Okay, they've reported that breaking, Hillary Clinton thinking about suing Trump, Fox News, and Republicans for $1 billion for defamation. To which I jokingly said, do it. Do it. Like pull out Starsky and Hutch. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. First of all, I haven't found it confirmed anywhere else. It might be true. She might be thinking about it. She might have said, I'm thinking about suing them. Breaking news. Do it, Hillary. You know, there's the judgment-proof defense in defamation. There's also the truth is an absolute defense in defamation. Satanic pedophile liar, Arkansas kill list, murderer, liar, evil. Okay, those are all a mixture of opinion and hard fact. So do it. Sue Trump for $1 billion for defamation. Do it. I flipping dare you. I haven't seen it confirmed anywhere else, and I'm inclined to believe it's actually not true. Just stuff for Twitter engagement. Now, what I would ordinarily do, but because time is lacking, I would go. So someone in our locals community said, "Who is Liz Cheney?" To which someone else said, I'm not going to mention the names. I don't want to get you in trouble. She's a fat blowhard. Someone asked, "Who is Liz Cheney?" To which someone else replied, "She is a fucking moron." Someone factually answered, she is Dick Cheney's daughter. Who's Dick Cheney? Well, he's a war criminal, according to many. So that's from our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. What I'll do tonight, ordinarily I would save the after party directly for the locals. What I will do is I'll read the tips right now. Because we got YouTube's got, oh yeah, I didn't even mention why I didn't go on YouTube tonight. Because screw off YouTube is why. I'll go through the tips and I'll read them out loud. Let me just read some of the chats here. She's a red-eyed. I can't read that. Are you crazy? I got kids in the house. My kids might be watching me right now. In our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community, we've got the best memes ever. I'm going to go to the tips. Those are the equivalent of Rumble rants. And I'll read them, and I know nobody's going to run. Denise Ann 2 sent a $5 tip. It said that Trump won, the Constitution won, the citizens won. And this looks like a tweet from Behizy Tweets. Behizy, Behizy tweets. Breaking. Shut the front door! In real time, the Colorado judge overseeing the lawsuit to remove Trump's name from the 2024 ballot has rejected the challenge and ordered the Secretary of State to place Donald J. Trump's name on the 2024 election ballot. Primary or general? It looks like it's primary. Quoting the judge. Holy crap. Whenever I make a prediction, it turns out to be wrong. So don't bet on Viva, bet on Barnes. Quote, while the court agrees that there are persuasive arguments on both sides, bullshit, the court holds that the absence of the president from the list of positions to which the amendment applies, combined with the fact that Section 3 specifies that the disqualifying oath is one to, quote, support, end quote, the Constitution, whereas the president's oath is to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, end quote, the Constitution, it appears to the court that for whatever the reason, the drafters of Section 3 did not intend to include a person who had only taken the presidential oath. This is a huge win because they found the most liberal judge in the state and still lost. That's from our locals community. That is coming from Denise Ann 2. I'm going to pull up the headline because that's got to be in the news. Bill Brown, an amazing man from our community. He lives on a homestead. I'm not going to say a farm. It's a homestead. Massive pig named Templeton. Beautiful animal. Sent a $1 tip. It says, what can I say? I swear like a sailor. And say please and thank you like a saint. I'm complicated. I like it. Bill Brown also has what looks like George Orwell. No, that's the only thing you can do about awful people is not be one of them. Bill Brown is the meme inspirational master of the night tonight. He says, sometimes someone unexpected comes into your life out of nowhere, makes your heart race, and changes you forever. We call these people game wardens. Okay, I get that. Bill Brown has got another one. It says, I hold a beast, an angel, and a madman in me. It's your choice who you want to meet, and it's a dude with the iron cross, and I'm going to get accused of all sorts of things, and I don't care. Ryan B. 1954 sent a $10 tip. It says, this is the problem with the right. The infighting is pathetic. The left constantly doubles down and rallies together. The right picks these absurd fights that just continues to splinter and fracture the party. I agree. But I say disagree with someone when it's material. And I've disagreed with a number of people privately, and I will not shit on them publicly, even though I could ratio their asses if I so chose. People like Lermer turn into losers over this shit. The infighting on both sides is hurting the party. I agree. Denise Ann 2. I'm not going to read this. It says, it's Nikki Haley. Do you see my messages, Denise? That you are a... All right, so this is I'm not sharing it. There's a text number there, and I thought it was a text message. I guess people are getting the spam shit in text. It says, hey, it's Nikki Haley. Do you see my message, Denise? There is something you need to know about me, and it's a link. By the way, okay, to which a member of our community replied, that you are a communist who wants to go against the Constitution and strip rights away from the U.S. citizens? There is absolutely no way I will ever vote for you, you neocon clown who wants infinite wars. You have successfully unsubscribed. That's freaking hilarious, Denise Ann. And kudos. By the way, I don't know what I've done, except I have obviously someone somewhere has sold my name, my email address. Luckily, it's the one that's already. I get spam from Jim Jordan. And I'm not complaining that I might like these people or their politics, but I didn't sign up for this shit. I get spam from Jim Jordan, Elise Stefanik, Defend Women's Sports from Elise Stefanik, Daily Caller, Rebel News I signed up for, that I know. House Republican Battleground, Chuck Hand, I don't even know who that person is. Seymour Hersh I signed up for. Urgent Action Required, that's Elise Stefanik. House GOP Alerts, never signed up for that. Daily Caller, never signed up for it. Truth Liberty Coalition, never signed up for it. Petco membership, signed up for it. Daily Caller, GOP Defense. Like, I don't know which one of these ass jackaninnies sold my info. I'm getting spam from conservative outlets that I never asked for, don't want, and I'm getting a little frustrated about. But I don't care. I'm a bigger person. I'm not going to make a fight about it. I think that's all that we have. Let me just see if I'm going to get... You guys want to see a family interference of the stream? So this is, unsurprisingly, what is this? Oh my goodness, I almost got away without giving Gavin Newsom shit for tonight. We're going to give Gavin Newsom the shit that he deserves. He got community noted. I don't know when, but it wasn't there when I made my joke. And it was there afterwards. And I don't think I did it because I think I might have just... I didn't see it. I think it must have predated, or it was in the works. Gavin Newsom, propagandist, lying scumbag out of Commie, California, pulling a Trudeau, bending over to Xi Jinping, saying, hey, we're for sale. Whatever you want, it's all yours, Xi. You like it? You like this? You like this woman? No, I'll give you a good price. Put out a tweet and said, and I'm quoting, a city in Tennessee has banned being gay in public. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Anywhere, any place in the world, and more especially America, that bans being gay in public, I will rage against publicly. I know some people might still think being gay is a sin, and that's fine. Sinning in public should not be illegal unless the sin is illegal. One should not legislate law based on morality. You know, there's a line there. I think murder is sinful. Murder should be illegal. I think maybe cheating on your wife is sinful. I don't think it should be illegal. And all that to say, any place that tries to outlaw cheating on your wife, cheating on your spouse, I will protest against, or at least I'll speak out against. Any place on God's green earth, let alone the country in which I have chosen to live temporarily, possibly permanently, if they ban being gay in public, I will rage against that. You know what the only problem is? I'm not stupid enough to think that any place in America actually has banned being gay in public. Apparently, Gavin Newsom thinks his followers are stupid enough to actually believe it, and lo and behold, Gavin Newsom's followers are stupid enough to believe it. Quoting Gavin Newsom, at Gavin Newsom on Twitter, a city in Tennessee has banned being gay in public. This is just the beginning. We have to call this out. This is so flipping stupid, it's beyond words. And I had to just go look it up. All right, he's referring to a Tennessee bylaw that banned public indecency. Here, I'll just... Murfreesboro passed an ordinance in June banning, quote, indecent behavior, end quote, including, quote, indecent exposure, public decency, lewd behavior, nudity, or sexual conduct, end quote. This is the most favorable publication supporting Newsom's lie. It's a lie. It's a goddamn lie is what it is. God-forsaken lie. As journalist Aaron Reed first reported, so they're not lying, Aaron Reed's lying. This ordinance specifically mentions Section 2172 of the City Code. The City Code states that sexual conduct includes homosexuality. You know what it means? I so want to swear so flipping hard right now. It means that you can't engage in indecent conduct in public, and that indecent conduct includes homosexual activity. Do you know what that necessarily means? That was added as clarity to add in addition to heterosexual indecent sexual activity. So I go to the ordinance. Sexual conduct, the one that is prohibited, means masturbation, not gay masturbation. I don't know if you have heterosexual masturbation. Sexual conduct that is prohibited under the ordinance includes masturbation, homosexuality, sexual intercourse, which is not homosexual intercourse, physical contact with a person's clothed or unclothed genitalia, public area, buttocks, or, if such person be female, boobies. Breasts, sorry. Gavin Newsom is a godforsaken liar. Period. Full stop. And I said, you better get freaking community notes on that shiat, because that's a load of crap. And they did, because he's a liar. Yeah. It bans sexual intercourse in public, but if you didn't specify it includes also homosexual intercourse, someone out there might have said, well, I wasn't engaging in intercourse, I was engaging in homosexual activity, and it's not... Well, they were one step ahead of you. Yeah. Sexual intercourse, including homosexual intercourse. Yeah. Oh, no, they're banning being gay in public. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Whenever I say unbelievable, I think of Pastor Artur Pawlowski when he kicked out the Nazis. Unbelievable. All right, we're going to end it on this because my wife is going to kill me. She will. I know she will. I can hear it. Plus, we've done everything. I went for a jog while my car was being repaired this morning. Look, I'm not a superficial person, and I don't care about material objects except in as much as they are functional. And we got a used Jeep, and I love it. And I had to take it to a place. When you find a reliable, trustworthy mechanic garage, you hold on to that secret dearly because you don't want them getting so popular that you can't get in anymore. That's what selfish people would say. Japanese auto care, hashtag, this is not an ad whatsoever. I was recommended a place called Japanese Auto Care off the 441 in Florida. Honest, good, reliable, and my goodness, what more can you ask from a mechanic? Engine light, you know the engine light came on because when I went to Mar-a-Lago, it was on. It came off. I was like, oh, okay, good. I dodged that bullet, came back on, took it in. What did they say it was? I forget the word. Oh, shoot. I just got a text and it says, from my wife, finishing. Yes, I'm finishing. Marion, what was the word for the car thing? I Googled it to make sure they weren't screwing me. And they weren't. And it was an amazing thing. Oh, shoot. What was the thing that I repaired on the car today? Ask Mom. Thermostat. They didn't rip me off. They didn't overcharge me. But for the first time, I was like, oh, God, I saw a Ford Bronco. And yep. And yeah, all that to say is, so I went there. They replaced it. They repaired it. But I had to leave the car there. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go for a jog while you repair the car. And I went for a jog on the 441. And this is what I saw. Plastics, Jerry. Plastics. All right, I'm just jogging on the 441 in Florida, walking up the canals. Look at this plastic waste. This is down the canal. It was raining heavy for the last couple of days, and so the canals, I guess, they flow down. Look. By the way, I'm a genius. Like, which way would you guess that the water's flowing based on this? I'm so smart. Plastic and garbage in there. That is. There's a absolutely, look at that, atrocious, I guess. But then in a way, I guess it makes it a lot easier to clean up. Just go collect all this. So many soccer balls in there. Oh my goodness. We're gonna go back and get that. All right, well, back to the jog. That's incredible. It was plastics, Jerry. Watch your foot. Plastics, Jerry. Okay, so that's what I saw when I was jogging, and it was amazing.
Can I have this?
Yeah, for sure.
With the other one, it's like...
Come here. Tell the world what's so important. I can't wait 30 seconds here. What are you saying? What are you saying? Let's just hear this.
Nothing.
You were saying something about the lanyard.
My name tag broke.
Your name tag broke.
The lanyard on.
So now you're going to go use a Rumble app. Not only can you use this, I command you to use that. That's right.
I took it off on your thing.
He took it off. Doesn't matter. He took it off. Okay, so that's about as good as Q as ever to exit. And everybody, thank you for being here. Sorry, short notice. I wanted to get this off my. He took it off my Republican second debate, RNC. Okay, put that back in the drawer. Get out of here.
In 10 days, we're going to California.
All right, everybody, thank you all for being here. Did I miss anything back in our locals? He said, dude, I'm not going to locals now. Now I'm going to actually just end it. Let me just see if I missed any of the tips. Oh, Bill Brown says, getting some clarity right now.
Are you going here?
No, get out of here. That was Bill Brown. We got Jeanette Victoria says, hey, I don't want to see men and women groping each other in public. Absolutely. Bill Brown sent a picture of his pig. It's a pig. Templeton. Oh, here. This is it. Look at Templeton. Oh.
You want me to go get the picture?
If everybody who's watching this now were in our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community, you would be seeing the most majestic picture of Templeton.
Daddy?
Yep.
Can I go get it?
Oh, go get it. Yeah, go get it. Go. Bill, check this out. My kid's going to go get the picture of Templeton that he's got in his bedroom. It's a little crazy, but it's cute. Everyone's going to see. This is a wonderful way to... Bill Brown, I don't know how did we get the picture of the Templeton? Whatever. You're going to see this in a second. So that was Bill Brown with Templeton. We've got Denise Antoon. We're good here. And we'll just take a couple of let's go to the chat in vivabarneslaw.locals.com. MRT Swan says, thanks, Viva. Thank you all for this. It's therapy. John McGarvey, California, not sure what that's good. Especial Sov says, Viva, good. Viva, will you invite Chris Hedges on? Says, see the veil. Who's Chris Hedges? I'll Google it. I have no problem with anybody. I want Jake Shields to come on, but he hasn't replied to my shout out, call out, whatever it is yet. I'm in Locals and I can see it says love in 2 limes. Yes? I can't hear you. Figure it out and come back down. Don't worry about it. Templeton's a beautiful pig. Great way to end the stream, says White Sparrow. So we're going to do it because my wife is going to kill me. She's going to kill me. Thank you all for. So Sunday night, it's going to be a banger of a show, 6:00. Tomorrow, I will not be streaming tomorrow. You know why? It's the Rock and Mineral Festival somewhere in Florida tomorrow. Last year, I didn't get the turtle shell. I regretted it. It was like Homer Simpson. Remember when I saw, I think it was Magic Johnson? I said, I'll get a signature later. I'll get a signature later. And then I never got it. I said, I wanted that fossilized turtle shell. I'm going to get it. But in the meantime, hold on. Okay. Oh, yes and yes. Okay. In the meantime, my prize fossils, rocks, minerals, gems. This is a meteorite. If you're not new to the channel, you've seen this already. This is my absolute bona fide beautiful meteorite. It's 3,000 grams. I'm not just holding a piece of the cosmos. I'm kissing it. This flew through the cosmos for how many billions of years? Who the hell knows? It's amazing. It's got the little finger things as it breaks through the cosmos. It breaks apart with, like, they call them fingerprints, finger indents. It's amazing. I don't want to break it. Let me put it. Crap! I got no place to put it here. Right here. And then a mammoth molar. That's the tooth of a mammoth, polished so you could see what it looks like. But yeah, that's how it went. Like this. And then they used to grind the food down. Just beautiful. So tomorrow. Everyone's excited. Everyone is excited, especially me, especially my boy. I'm not so sure about the others, but they're coming, and we're making a video about it. So stay tuned for that. That'll be the Viva family. But all that to say, everybody, thank you for being here. That's a beautiful, shiny. Hope it's not radioactive, Viva. Well, considering the other things I've done to my body, that would be the least of my concerns. It's not a rock, it's metal, says Jones Phones. Absolutely. And it's beautiful. Oh, she's Louise. I didn't rumble rants. Did I have? Don't worry about it. I'll find it afterwards. Faith Over Fear 7772024 $10 says thank you for raising beautiful, smart, informed children. They know more than they should know. Okay. All right. You want to show this, and then we're gonna get out of here? This doesn't work. Go charge it, dude. You gotta charge it. All right, we're gonna go. Everybody enjoyed the weekend. It's Friday night. Get out of here. Stop watching the internet. Oh, geez. I got nothing. Come in here. You want to come here? Explain. Kid's taking my charger. That's it. I'm done. Okay, so everyone, enjoy the night. I will see you all Sunday night, 6:00. Thank you for being here. Peace out, everybody. Locals, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Thank you. And
Daddy, you're going to Womble?
I'm not going to. We're going to eat dinner. Okay. Good night, everyone. Have a good night. They made brownies and they've eaten dinner already. Okay, I'm out. Peace out, people. Enjoy the night.